Hitting the live button. Hitting this button. All right, so we're here in the final match of the Top Deck Games Summer Tournament. It's going to be myself, James Bieber, player 9, using IG88B with Predator, Mingler, Auto Thrusters, and Advanced Sensors. It's the red one. And IG88C with Push the Limit, HLC, Auto Thrusters, and Advanced Sensors. In the final match, I'm facing up against James Hedgepeth. He's going to be running 3 Dagger Squadron pilots and a Gray Squadron Y-Wing with R3A2, the Ion Turret, and the BTL-4A title. So he'll be running the Stress Y-Wing, but then 4 naked B-Wings. So not a matchup that I like to see across the table, for sure.
4 B-Wings?
I'm sorry, 3 naked B-Wings.
Naked? They're not having any upgrades?
No
No
upgrades
advanced
whatsoever.
sensors. So he's decking all of it on the Y-Wing.
That's all on the Y-Wing, but the B-Wings don't typically need a lot. Now the daggers come in at, I believe, pilot skill 4, so Predator's not going to be doing quite what I need it to in this matchup, which is a problem. The same thing with the Gray Squadron pilot. It's not very often taken, but sometimes that extra little boost of pilot skill can make the difference.
Okay, now Y-Wings are actually one of my more favorite ships.
Oh yeah, they're very, very good, especially with the BTL-4A title now. It makes them quite good, and we're going to see a few moments up here. Now, unfortunately for this matchup, we do deploy a little bit near the top, so for the first round or two, the ships are a little bit hard to see. Uh, but he is going to go for this interesting formation. He of course, deploying first. He's got that Y-Wing down. He's going to be getting everything quite in the order that he wants, but definitely setting up for that joust, because those B-Wings want to joust even more than I do. And
Okay.
the thing that I tend to bank on, uh, the thing that I tend to bank on, pause. What are you asking?
Uh, I didn't press play, and I was intently watching the screen. Like, is anyone gonna move? And I realized I hadn't pressed play. My space bar wasn't set up.
Uh,
So I just want to know what the
I'm
minute second.
on 158.
158. All right, I'm there. And continue.
Wait. Okay. I lost my train of thought. Anyway, they want to joust even more than I do, so my secret here is to go straight for the joust. Most robots will try to avoid that.
So B-Wings. So is this a normal type of configuration, or is this something a little bit more unique?
This is a little bit more unique. It looks very reminiscent of the Panic Attack style list, uh, but without the tacticians on the B Wing. In fact, when I first saw it, I really thought it was the Panic Attack list, but he went for the pilot skill bid instead of the tacticians, and it served him well so far in the day.
And so what is the panic attack?
Panic Attack is 3 B Wings, all with the crew upgrade and then Tactician as the crew, so now they're dealing stress when they attack at range 2, along with the Y Wing decked out just like it is. Because that R3A2 allows you to fire, take 1 stress to put a stress on your opponent so long as you're firing an arc. And with the BTL4 title, he can do that twice when he fires.
Oh, that's gross.
Yes, very much so.
Him going naked, B wings. Taking away the extra crew slot and taking away the tacticians? What did he gain on the Y wing that made him feel like that would be a good trade?
What he told me is this is the only matchup where it actually paid off because I was bringing Predator, and Predator gives you 2 rerolls against pilot skill 1 and 2, but only 1 against pilot skill 3 and up. So 4, I'm not getting the rerolls out of my IG88B. So over here, we're getting our normal setup.
So he took higher point cost B wings to get the higher pilot skill, and that was worth losing tactician over because of your predator.
I don't know if it was worth it. Uh,
Okay,
in
not
this,
worth it, but
yeah, in this matchup, the tactician would have been much better. In general, Panic Attack's a very strong meta build. So he was going for something a little bit more unique here to see if that would work out for him. And also, you have to own 3 Phantoms to use Panic Attack. So a lot of players just don't own that many Phantoms.
I do. I love phantoms.
He's playing pretty aggressively with the Y wing. He hasn't seen my formation or seen my play quite yet, so he's coming in, and that really highlights me what I want to be doing as soon as things start. Now, we ended that first round of movement just outside of firing range, but there's definitely going to be some shooting on this turn.
Now, the asteroid placement is a lot different this time.
Yeah, I think he came in at 99 points and took initiative, or passed initiative maybe. Uh, Either way, I wasn't quite able to get the rocks quite where I wanted. A lot of times, players. I remember that he placed that small rock exactly where I didn't want it to go. That rock at the very top there, that blocks one of my lanes. Then the big rock and the small rock next to it also blocked two of my late game lanes. So he played very well in that regard, but in doing so, also opened up one side of the board to me. So I'm going in for that target lock. I think I might just barely not have it. I might have it. We'll see here. Yeah, looks like I got it. Great. I got to take out that Y-Wing first. Everything hinges on that Y-Wing. With that R3A2, that Y-Wing can do a lot of punishment to my list by applying stress to me when I don't want it. That'll stop me from doing K-turns, it'll stop me from doing white moves, and most importantly, turn off advanced sensors.
You know, I really do like the color pattern of the Scum Y Wing.
Oh yeah, it's really cool. I think he actually painted his.
Really?
Yeah, all his B-Wings and his Y-Wing are all painted up.
I don't know. It looks like it's out of the box aces.
Kind of hard to see in the video, but he always paints his ships.
Okay. So this joust looks pretty interesting. You're going for your slow approach as usual.
Yeah, but this is a
But
high risk scenario for me. I have all these B-Wings facing me and a lot of shots that he's going to get and not a lot of movement options. There's not going to be any boost shenanigans for me next turn, and I know it. So
why couldn't you just it so wait, what are the pilot scores for every single one of these ships?
he is all 4 and I am both 6.
All right, so he's always going to move first.
Yep.
So why couldn't you just K turn next round? Because it looks like even if all the ships only moved one, you'd still be able to overshoot that one B wing on the back.
Maybe, but that B-Wing can also barrel roll, so I don't necessarily have
Mm.
a guaranteed 4K. And even a one straight at that range, I think I would still probably clip if I went straight for the 4K. So we got some shooting going back and forth. My priority has to be that Y-Wing. Now, you'll notice something really interesting here. It's really easy to miss. That Y-Wing did a BTLA-4 primary shot on IG-88B in the back and dropped a stress on him, and then did his secondary shot on C and dropped a stress on him, stressing
Oh.
both of my bots. So now I cannot do a 4K.
Oh.
I cannot advance sensors. If I bump, no actions.
See, I love Y wings so much. I typically bring more Y wings than any other ship. I've never like I always feel like it's a waste, not a waste, but a shame when you only bring one Y wing. But the strategy speaks for itself. If you can just have that clutch Y wing with that upgrade, do something like that, it doesn't matter. The rest can just wipe it up.
Yep. This turn is a very, very critical turn. Depending on how all the actions turn out here, it can really go one way or the other.
Oh man, you must have been sweating bullets.
Oh, definitely. Oh, yeah. Two stressed IG-88s in a row like that with all these ships in front of them, they don't get actions. If I don't get actions and I'm ending up at range 1 of a lot of these shots, my chances of survival drop like a rock.
Now, is he trying to set up for all these different blocks right now?
His setting up for blocks, his setting up for shots. He is setting up his game plan overall to make sure that he can keep fire consistently on the bots.
Now, if you knew a knife fight like this would have been unideal, why did you deploy so close to him instead of on the other side of the map? Because you had a higher pilot score, you would have been able to respond to his placement.
And the sheer volume of shots that he has and how slow the B-Wings can move is actually very dangerous for me to try to play the range game, because once I start to slow roll in, he then controls the board and has a lot of map control. So my strategy works out a little bit differently. See, I look like I'm going to go ahead and bump, clear the stress, and just go for it there. I do have a strategy here, though. Based on how his ships have moved, I got a little bit of leeway, but I decided to eat the shots this turn to make sure I could take out that Y-wing.
Ugh.
Yeah, very dangerous play, very high risk, but I absolutely had to take out that Y-wing. I knew that I would be able to withstand shots from some of those B-wings, but that one way there at the top, I don't believe it actually has a shot on me.
Well, those Y-wings have an agility of 1, so it's not like they have much of the way of dodging.
True, but if I am only rolling 1, I'm not going to get my gunner shot, so he might miss that and only take 1 damage. That's really the trade-off there. And that's
Hmm.
like my worst case scenario against a B-wing is only doing 1 damage.
So just one salvo got the B-wing. How did how
That
did
was
that happen?
2 salvos. That was 2 rounds of fire to take it
Yeah,
down.
but one of them was bumped. How did you get a second round of salvo?
He didn't fire at the it was a Mangler from the back that did the damage, and he took direct hits.
Right, but you said you attacked twice. How did he attack twice?
Oh no, he attacked on the previous round.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there was 2 rounds of fire. The first one's actually shooting at this rear B wing back here, to try to take him out. Oh, now the B wings are firing back. I did some damage to that B wing. I did strip some shields successfully, which was my goal, to start to wear them out as quickly as possible. Conserve my shots. I want to use the least shots possible to kill a ship. So with that Y wing, I really wanted to use 3 shots total, so I could get a 4th one onto the B wings. I took a damage card on C. It's in a bad spot now. Once I'm into damage, I can start taking crits. All sorts of bad things can start happening. So any one of these dice rolls could be the one, because he's going to keep rolling 3 hits every time, and I need to roll enough. There's a second damage card down on C.
What's the hole on the IG-88
4.
ships?
Yep. 4 shields, 4 hull. That's all it gets. So now he only has 2 hits left. There are 3 B-wings on the table.
I believe in him.
You believe in him?
Yeah, I think he can pull us through.
Well, let's take a look here. This is a really dangerous matchup here for me. I knew I was at definitely a very bad situation.
I just
Very risky.
the answer to all problems for me are K turns. I was like, am I in a tricky situation? What can I do? I'll do the K turn.
That's exactly what he did. That K turn was a good call.
My K turns never turn out good.
What's weird, I can't remember all the moves I did in this one. But, okay, there that goes. Is going in for the bump. It was a decent option. Make sure that he keeps arcs and can block my simple escape. So if I just try to go for a bank out, I won't be able to. That actually blocks my 1, 2, and 3 bank towards the middle of the map with that one green B-wing there. So he knows the exact placement he needs to be in order to block the maximum number of moves for me. It also blocks my 1, 2, and 3 straight, all with that one move. James Hedgepeth is a very good player. The IG-88 certainly has some weak spots when it comes to those moves as well. However, the will of a Templar is stronger. Actually, I'm going to end up just bumping. I wasn't really sure what he was going to go there, but I assumed that I was going to bump at some point. He wasn't just going to let me walk out of there, and I could not do the K-turn with that stress. So, no options. He had me dead to rights there, and that was fine with me.
So instead, you're gonna do a barrel roll.
I can't barrel roll.
Oh, okay.
We're just marking that ship to get the
I just misread
sloop
it.
on the IGB.
That's oof. How close were you to the edge on that?
Pretty close. Pretty
Now-
close. But I with the deployment, I play the same deployment almost every game, and I have a good sense of where that sloop's going to end up when it comes that close to the map. You only fly off the board so many times before you get a good sense of it.
The rules for the larger ships are any part of the base, right? Just like the small ships.
Yep. So you'll notice here, he only has 1 shot on me.
Yeah, I was worried about that because I didn't know what you were gonna do. I didn't know how the black one was gonna get out of it, but
I ate the bump.
if you block, but he doesn't get any shots on you either.
Right. But
just-
he was thinking I was going to do something trickier. Went for the block to try to hold me in position, thinking he was going to get some more shots on me. but it didn't quite pan out. And my
Like,
plan from the beginning was to sit still
I just feel like
because I
that
didn't.
that
I'm
I,
always
f-
afraid of those 2Ks.
I feel like the green one on the right would have had, instead of bumping, I feel like he should have K turned. But like it's hard to tell what's gonna happen
It
beforehand.
is hard to tell, and the way that he has them set up, he maximized the amount of firing space he has, but the sloop just barely got out of that arc.
Now the B wings, their agility is one as well, right?
Yep.
They're
Now I got very lucky here. Only 2 damage cards, and he was rolling 4 dice at me. Rolled 3 hits, and I rolled 3 evades. that was a BS moment for me. Okay, he's going for the 2K here. He has
say
mentioned
if
this moment as a moment where the game swung for him, because he can't clear that. I think he should have tried maybe to try to fit it in, but when we really looked at it, we decided it wasn't going to happen. He couldn't clear that. So he did a 2K bump stress, no action.
hmm,
Yep. Not good for him because now I have all this free range of movement. This is the knife fight, and this is the kind of the secret behind the robots for me in the way that I like to play them. I like to play the knife fight. Playing the knife fight against B-Wings is very risky.
now why did he just move up?
He moved up to clear
Oh,
that stress, get in there a little bit. Uh,
well, I figured he might want to bank.
well, I think he was expecting me to do something a little bit more fancy. Well, I haven't even reeled yet, so I could be doing anything. See, I think now he did the
Bumps.
yep bump. So his blocking a lot of things at once. His blocking the other IG's ability to get past them, and if he does somehow like do a 2 bank or something, he'll be taking two different shots for the
You can.
IGB, and the other one's going to be taking at least one shot if he gets past.
Oh,
Bumping is even a bad option. He
it's
made a very bad situation for me where shots were going to happen.
it's all well and good when he does the bumps, but he still has to get the shots in.
He does, but
And
like this, he protected himself from a lot of that issue with the way that he moved these B wings, uh, because now he's kind of made them a little bit more bump proof, where only one of them is going to bump any given ship.
okay, so
So one of them will still
so
get shots, typically.
so ne- so next movement.
I
Oh,
but I went straight up for the bump again on this. But now I got that range one shot off first, and I took out the B wing I'd been working on. With him in the rear early on, I had a feeling that he was going to be the one who was be actually getting the shots, while the other two ended up being bumpers, and that's kind of just how it worked out.
looks like it's all downhill from here.
Hard to tell. I only have 2 hull left on the Black Iggy,
Yeah, I keep forgetting
and
that.
those B wings have 8 hull each.
I don't know how many games you've played where you've lost one of your robots. I know it's happened, but
Oh yeah,
if you lost one of your robots, how much more difficult does it get for you?
it gets a little easier.
What?
Yeah, it actually gets a little easier sometimes. It's like the other one just kind of goes Super Saiyan. That's really what it feels like a lot, because now I don't have this other big ship on the map in my way. I have so many different movement options that weren't there before because the board is mine.
So by eating a sandwich, you've only made it tastier.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, it's great. So this is where things look. He did it at 2K to make sure he got arcs on me, make sure I couldn't pull any more bump shenanigans, made sure my escape routes were blocked. He did a lot of different things here to try to make this work and try to salvage this. And I kind of anticipated that 2K, so here is my reaction to that. Ooh.
All right.
Um, yeah. Right there where that won't get any shots. Now that B-Wing is out of arc, I have shots on the red. And what I want to be able to do is concentrate fire on the red. So I'm going to go ahead and take a look there. I already did it by focus, so I'm not taking a target lock. I think I'm just trying to figure out what I want to do with IG-88B before I move into engage. B is the one who I need taking shots now because he's at full shields. And I do the one forward. And boom, right there, no bump. And now the red one is in a bad spot. It's taking 4 dice from B. And there's 4 hits.
Interesting.
And 1 evade. There go the shields. And now I have the HLC shot coming at him from behind if I get a perfect roll. And there it is. 4 shots. He is dead even if he rolls an evade. Boom. One more off the board. Very dangerous game here, though. Uh, Again, a single range one shot is extremely potent. As you saw, IG88C took one range one shot, took like tons of damage off of it. And I've had games where that one shot was all the difference.
Ooh, one hit and two focus.
Yep, but he did that K turn, didn't quite serve him. But it would have if he had that focus.
Yeah.
Because I did not roll quite well. I rolled just what I needed. Looks like we're in the final phases here. That's one thing about the Brobots that I've noticed. Either matches last a very long time against two very tanky ships, or matches are about 15 to 20 minutes long. They play fast, and I like to play that to my advantage and play the game much faster than my opponent is ready to.
Barrel roll. Uh-oh.
Yeah, what's he up to? He's going to try to save himself from one shot here. Which is a good idea. And not a whole lot I could do about it, and that's what's good about bumping. That's what makes bumping so powerful. You can stop it.
Are you gonna sloop with this guy?
I'm gonna 4K.
Oh. You haven't used a single sloop this series.
No, I don't like the sloops as much. The sloops change your arc way too much. It makes them very hard to predict. I would have had it in this instance, but only because he barrel rolled. So the 4K is actually a little bit more powerful, but it puts a lot more range between you and your opponent. It helps you keep that range 3 pretty well if you're already a little ahead of your opponent, though. But it is something that can backfire. There's a 3 damage. He just took 3 shields. He has 2 shields left and all his hull. But he is in a very bad spot. He is shooting me back. Range 3. Auto thrusters. Everything I need, of course. And I don't say that facetiously. That's just how IG88 works. I mean, the roll can be super average and you can still pull everything out of it. Now, so his options are extremely limited. That dial is not going to get him anywhere he needs to be.
Your ships can both move 1 and still be in range of him.
Yeah.
And it's good. I don't know.
That barrel
is that what you did? Just move 1?
The bottom one, the red one, definitely a 1 forward because once I get into that position where I have a range 3 shot, I'm always going to want to slow roll forward and just keep taking those shots and pummeling him, because that's IG88's strongest position, is when he can just move forward like a sledgehammer slowly. And it's very hard to build that game state up. Oh, looks like we got a bump. That's fine.
No, it's not. It's not fine.
Just gonna... Yeah, there we go. I didn't even bother taking an action, I don't think. Oh, that was... I tried to boost, that's what it was, and now I'm getting out of there. I anticipated the bump, looks like. So, I'm setting up myself for another round. Because I know that Mingler bot's not going to kill that B in one go.
It looks...
Set myself up for disaster. Yeah, I mean, he could get a shot on C over there.
Yeah. I'm just worried that, like, what your maneuvers are going to be for next turn. Oh, it's just a hard one, of course. Why wouldn't it be anything other than a hard one, right?
Right. That's why I like about the hard ones, too. Look, I mean, from where I just was to where I am now, he fully expected me to bump. I fully expected me to bump, and then I just don't. Alright, there go the shields. Shooting back. What am I going to take? He got 2 hits on me. And I got 2 evades. Like a jerk. Back to dials.
So what are the rules when a die bumps an asteroid like that?
And if we don't notice, we don't notice. Asteroids move. Asteroids never end up in the same position at the end of the match that they started the match in. It's kind of an unwritten rule that you know, fly casual for sure. So things move, things bump around. Take a snapshot of the game before and after, and everything's different. But that's okay, as long as both players understand where everything's supposed to be, then it's fine.
Okay, so this B-Wing was very close, but it wasn't a bump.
Nope.
And I think that's going to kill him.
Unfortunately, I went for the sloop.
Oof.
And yeah, knowing, I very knowingly put C right into his firing arc, knowing that C could die, but getting all my shots in
Ooh,
on the B wing.
that's tasty.
Yeah, that was so tasty. And I can go ahead and push the limit and focus this turn because I don't feel like not killing the B wing this turn would be pretty devastating. So just roll that die, and there's the 4 hits.
Oh, it's over.
And he's not even going to roll the defense die. That is game. Very great match. It was very intense. Look, James is such a great player. he really is. He's a great player. He's a great sport. Great guy. But that was a very intense match. A lot of thinking back and forth. And there were just a few moments that didn't quite go right for him.
So that's it. You won the national.
That was it for our coverage of the Top Deck game.